Serafina and I were at a entrepreneurial book club where Stephanie never read the right book, and
Stephanie was terrible at this book club.
I really sucked at book club.
I did
Fabulous. What?
I just had a visual. I just had a
It was a
visual.
lot.
I had a visual.
Proud of it.
Hold on, let me turn it on.
Happy Friday to everyone. How the heck are ya? Thanks for coming over.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have another E for All sister in the house today.
I know it's a great program, isn't
Yeah,
it?
right. Get up nice and close to that microphone and introduce yourself, Nancy. Tell everybody who you are and why you're here at my Lemonadio table.
I know this is very cool. So my name is Nancy Gaudet, and I'm the founder and president of Type 1 Families. Type 1 Families is a nonprofit organization created to empower, educate, and support families who have children with type 1 diabetes.
Now, maybe you can talk about your journey a little bit. I've heard your story because you've popped on a couple of podcasts before, but I definitely feel like it's worth sharing for someone that might just be starting this space in their life.
Sure. So my son was diagnosed when he was just 9 years old. He's soon to be 25.
That's amazing.
It was a real hard journey in the beginning, and there's so much to think about, so many things to do. You have a whole new way of life.
Yeah.
Every time you eat something, you have to have insulin. There's lots of medical appointments and a huge lifestyle change. There's also a real serious period of grief in the beginning because you realize your kid's life is not going to be quote unquote normal.
Regular. Yeah.
It's like a new normal. So for the first year, I cried about it and cried in the shower, cried in my car after I dropped him off at school. And I was really grief stricken about it. And then about a year later, we got busy and started getting active and meeting other families with type 1 diabetes.
Yeah, because you definitely need to build a support web. I feel like there's just so much that covers. It's not just food. It's not just constantly checking.
Right.
It's just hypervigilance is really exhausting.
Exactly. And sometimes I equate it to, it's like bringing a newborn home all over again.
Mhm.
And all the things that you don't know when you have a baby.
Yeah.
There's like a whole new learning curve when your kid gets diagnosed.
Yeah.
With type
Every
1.
mom knows that feeling when you leave the hospital with this new baby and you're like, wait a minute, I'm in charge.
Exactly.
Who's checking on me? Like, yeah, you feel like that you're not doing the right things. You're not doing the right things all of the time. I'm not qualified for this.
Exactly. And so all of a sudden your child gets diagnosed with diabetes. You have to be a nutritionist, a doctor, a nurse, an educator. You have to be able to do math and count carbs without a calculator.
Yeah, right. And not just for vanity reasons. It's
Right.
because for life.
Exactly. And it is a big responsibility and it's a big change and it affects your whole family. Whether you have I have one child, but families that have 2 or 3 kids, you're still juggling all the other stuff and
Yeah.
sports and all of it, sports and academics. And there's a lot that goes into it. So,
Well, because now you're doing sports medicine science. How do I give them enough fuel that is going to keep his blood sugar normal while he's being active?
exactly.
Like that's math. That's a whole lot of math.
Exactly. And my son was a cyclist. He was a bike racer. He was a
Okay.
bike rider. He grew up here on the Cape. So his sports of choice were, fishing, surfing, cycling. I wish he would have picked an easier sport than cycling. Cycling was really hard to figure out how to give him enough fuel and enough sugar and whatever to race his bike. So it was a huge learning curve, but we learned a lot and he had great opportunities cycling
Mhm.
and I have no regrets.
Rich Rogers is sending you TD1 kids and families are warriors.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I totally believe that. That is true. And the kids are rock stars.
Yeah.
And really, I have met so many people on this journey. And the cool thing is, once you walk in those shoes and you meet somebody that also walks in those shoes,
Mhm.
you have an instant connection and
Totally.
an instant bond. So that's kind of one of the cool things about it.
Well, and also somebody else like that. You don't have to have that qualifying conversation. You don't have to sit there and explain to them anything. You can just be with them and they get it.
Exactly. And so you'll be in the grocery store, you'll see someone with a Dexcom or an Omnipod on, and little kids are like, "Mom, look, that other kid has the thing on."
Yeah,
And instantly you would go up to that person and be like, "Hey, dude, you have diabetes?"
100%.
Right?
It is a bonding space. It is a badge.
It is. So, after the first year, I want to say it was so, so hard. And after that, I got busy and I decided that I wanted to meet other moms whose children had diabetes. So I started a support group in Hanover, Mass. And I'm proud to say that I've been running that group for 14 years.
That's amazing.
We have a closed Facebook group and it's called South Shore Type 1 Moms. So if you're out there on the South Shore and your kid has type 1, go onto that page and I will accept you into the group. Last time I looked, there were 288 moms in that group.
That's so stressful.
I know.
But it's nice to know that you're not alone.
Right. And the cool thing about the group is when you don't come to the monthly meeting, you can write a question in or you can ask advice about something. Simple things like, what do you feed your kid when they're playing soccer? Do you take your pump off your kid when they're swimming? Things like that. And the coolest thing is other moms help other moms.
Yeah.
So I've really gotten a lot out of doing that group. And now I'm expanding that model. I just started one in Linfield, Mass last March.
Very cool.
And I am looking for space. So anyone out there, I'm looking for free space that I can do a monthly support group at night, hopefully on a Tuesday or Thursday night on the Cape from 7 to 9 p.m. And I've called a lot of places and I've gotten a lot of no's.
Okay.
But I'm looking to try and start that by the end of March. So
if anybody's got a space that you're thinking would be perfect for this, have you talked to Lauren O'Places? I mean, it gets you close to the Cape. That's Buzzards Bay.
No, I have not. Does she have space?
She does have space.
Okay, and she's an E for all girl.
Yes,
right?
she is.
Okay.
This is how we tangle our webs.
This is cool. Okay.
Hey, Dawn.
Good to know.
Thanks for joining us from a good rainy day from California. Oh, no, it rained today. It's always sunny and 70 there. You'll survive. Meanwhile, it's like 30 here. They pulled that ground rat out of the ground today. Punxsutawney Phil or Pete or whatever its name is. Spring is early, apparently.
Oh, is that what they ended up saying?
39% of the time, he's right. That's all.
That's not a lot to bank on.
No, they took more time introducing the guys with the top hats that look like the Monopoly guys this morning. I'm like, can we get to the point here?
I hear it's a huge event there. It's like a whole day event, right?
There were 10,000 people watching the live stream this morning. I'm like, what is going on? It's 7 a.m.
That is amazing.
I know, right?
So no more snow. Spring is early?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Okay, well, that'll be cool.
We're having our cabin fever party here at Lemonadio, and I'm pretty excited for it. We're doing it at Sea Dog this year, and tickets are available. They're only $25. You get a t-shirt. The band this year is the Midnight Society. They are super fun, so energetic. They barely take a break, and they're performance artists as well. So you never know what they're going to come in and dressed as.
That's
so
cool.
It is definitely a show to be had. And who doesn't love a good old-fashioned dance party 2 to 5 on a Saturday?
That sounds awesome.
Right? You're home.
Sign me up.
I even checked what time that the sun was setting is 5:30. I'm like, guys, we'll be home in time for dark. This is the best party ever.
That sounds pretty cool.
And we're doing a portion of the proceeds are going to Habitat for Humanity. So I thought that'd be super fun. Cabin fever. Building houses.
Oh, that's
nice little tie in there.
Very good tie-in. Genius.
So that is coming March 2nd, and tickets just went on sale yesterday. So definitely grab your tickets. We're talking to Nancy Gaudette. She is the founder of Type 1 Families, type1families.org. She's working on her website. She's looking for a space on the Cape to have some meetings. So if anybody's got a lease on those for her, your son is now 25. Maybe you can talk about because my daughter's leaving for college.
Oh.
That space. Like, okay, we've got a handle on it where moms are momming and coming together, and now it's time for them to be their own person. out of the house. So this love that you've cared for and fostered and made sure has stayed alive is now going to be in charge of their own life.
Right.
It's scary. How did you let go?
It is scary whether they have diabetes or not, right?
Yep.
And our job is to teach them how to flee the nest, right? And back then, technology was not what it is today. My son, like now, moms can and dads can follow their kids' blood sugar on their phone, and they can see when they go low or high. My son did not have that kind of technology. He was on a pump, but it wasn't integrated. And even if it was, he wouldn't let me follow him anyways.
Well,
So
that's it. He needs to have a little autonomy in this and feel like he's living his own life, not tethered to you.
exactly. And I guess my advice to moms is to let your kid do as much as they can, just like trying to teach them how to do the laundry before they go to college, right?
Yeah.
And then, teach them how to manage their blood sugar. And drinking is a big thing, whether you have diabetes or not in college.
Hmm.
And so, teaching them how to do that and how to be responsible and what to do, what do you do if this happens and how do you manage it yourself? I think that, it's all part of, do you want your kid living in your basement when they're 25?
Right.
No.
Well, that's
So-
why mom and dad have taken over the basement. Both of our businesses are here. To my older children, you're not coming back. We have no room for you.
There you
We
go.
love you. Do well in your life. Seriously.
Exactly. And that's our job, right? That is our job. See ya. All set. Time to lunch.
Bye. Lauren says, absolutely. We will host you for an insightful workshop or whatever it is that you need. So definitely. Rich says that they've got a type 1 kid and have 2 type 1 sisters. A lot of people do not understand, and thank goodness for technology.
Oh, yes, I agree. Totally agree.
I don't even know the stress of
It-
managing that. Maybe you can talk about the things that can happen. I mean, why you're so worried. I think people, if you don't know anything about type 1 diabetes and the effects it has on your body.
Right. So this is not your grandma's diabetes. This is not you take a pill or you treat it with your diet. Basically, when you have type 1, your pancreas stops working. And the only way that you can survive is to have insulin injected into your body and act as a pancreas. Now, the cool technology out there is there are continuous glucose monitors that monitor your blood sugar. So you don't have to prick your finger and draw blood all the time anymore. It's a little device that's embedded and subcutaneously can calculate your blood sugar, which is very cool. The other thing is, rather than giving injections with insulin, you now have a pump. And so now those two technologies have the ability to talk to each other, which makes it seem like you don't have diabetes, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Back when my son first got it, we were doing daily injections every time he ate something and pricking his finger to see what his
Try that
blood
with a
sugar is.
9-year-old. I mean, really,
Well-
you have to.
Or try it with a toddler.
Yeah. Oh,
In my North Shore moms group, there were 6 new moms last month. 3 of them had children under the age of 3.
wow.
So I can't imagine chasing a toddler around to do that. So the technology for younger kids is really great. And most doctors and endos are really into prescribing that because a toddler can't tell you how they feel
Right.
if they feel low. So if your blood sugar goes low, it can be dangerous. And you could have a reaction and faint, and things could go south pretty quick.
Yeah.
If your blood sugar is too high, the same thing could happen usually. And then let me tell you what the symptoms are, because that's really important to parents.
Okay. Yeah.
So if your kid starts drinking a lot, peeing a lot, and starts losing weight, those are like 3 of the most important signs to know. If you see that happening in your kid, go to your pediatrician and tell them you want their blood sugar checked. So usually what happens is, because your pancreas stops working and then you start losing weight and then your blood sugar goes high, ketoacidosis or DKA is really serious. And that's when you don't have enough insulin to help counteract what you're eating. So your blood sugar goes really, really high, and then you get in a danger zone. The symptoms of that are flu-like. So a lot of kids are misdiagnosed.
Masked.
And they think that they have the flu because you start throwing up when your blood sugar is really, really
Ugh.
high. So, and then you become lethargic and whatever. So that's one of the warning signs too. One thing that would, a lot of pediatricians think that it's the flu or something different. And, every mom that I talked to whose kid is diagnosed, they had a gut feeling
Yeah.
and they knew. So those are kind of the warning signs to look out for.
Listen to yourself. Don't second guess things. Good morning, Mark. Thanks for joining us. We have Nancy Gaudette on the show with us. Type1families.org is the website she's working on, but this is her group and you're on Facebook as well.
Yes.
So what inspired you to go to E4All and go through the whole process of becoming a 501c3? Because we've got a bunch of our friends that have been asking about starting one, and we're in the E4All family. Nancy just completed her initial start, right?
Right. This is the beginning. And you know what? If it wasn't for E4All, I never, I've been running the support group for 14 years and I keep saying, all right, I really want to do this, but if it wasn't for that program, I wouldn't have set the goals. I wouldn't have filed for the 501c3. The program is really great because it teaches you all the things you need to do to launch your business, whether it's a nonprofit or for-profit. And you have to go to the classes are grueling.
It is like drinking water from a fire hose. It's the only way I can explain
That's
it.
a very
oh
good
my
way.
God, why?
In the spreadsheet, right?
I cried.
Me
I
too.
cried a lot.
I did too.
And I tried to quit the last week and Kai was not having it.
I tried to quit the second week. So I totally
it's
get
too
it.
much for me. I quit.
I know. Well, we don't want to deter people from going though, because it's
you need
hard,
to understand it's work and it is worth it.
But it's totally worth it.
It is job. It's a job.
It's a part-time job.
It is. It is. And it's also a baby business school. I liken it to people that don't know about spreadsheets and finances and how to run a business, which I do none of the above. So it was stressful, but it was good.
But the other thing is I would have paid a lot of money to take that class. So the other thing that people out there need to know is E4All is a nonprofit and the classes are free. That to me was invaluable. I would have paid $50,000 to take that class.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's definitely worth that. So if you're looking at trying to start your own business, start your own nonprofit, I would totally look into E4All.
They really do set you up for success. I even suggested that to my baby entrepreneur upstairs. I said, you just missed the cutoff for this next round. But I said, if you still have that hankering, you can do it from anywhere with the classes. And it's just really invaluable between the mentors and setting you up for success wherever it is. I can't speak more highly of the program. And also they've got baby pitch competitions. So you can win actual money for your business.
Yes.
Which is, really exciting. It is a nice little carrot. It's not necessarily why we do these things. And throughout the whole year, they hold your hand for a year.
Thank God. My mentors are still signed on. I'm ready to make them sign a contract so they can stay with me for 2
you're not
years.
Ever leaving me.
That's what I said to them recently. You cannot leave me. I need you. And 2 of them are steeped in nonprofits and been working in the nonprofit world for a long time. And one of them is a guy that I think that knows how to scale businesses. So
yeah.
I'm in good hands.
Yeah, you definitely are. At your $15,000 business school scholarship. Yeah, seriously. It's pretty outrageous the amount of help that we get from that program. So I definitely suggest you're doing so. I've got one friend that just started this accelerator and I'm going to be a mentor. And we just did some interviews yesterday. It was so nice to see these baby fledgling businesses with the little doe eyes all ready to get started. Like they're going to have a long battle, but it's going to be a good one because you're setting yourself up for the rest of your whatever excited.
Well, that's how you got here,
program.
Right? That's how you got here, right?
Well, I was going to do this regardless.
Okay.
But I think that I did it in a better fashion than I would have flailed for a lot longer.
Me too.
Exactly.
Me too. Yeah. Well, that was the thing. So if I didn't do it, I wouldn't have even, created a logo, found a domain name, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
When did you go through the program?
So during pandemic.
Oh gosh.
So everything was virtual.
That must have been hard.
It was a full year before I met some of these people in real life.
Wow.
Of my cohorts.
Wow.
Even our finals were at home.
So you were doing your pitch on a video?
Hmm.
That must have been so hard.
It was, yeah. It was in some fashion better for me because I've done radio for 25 years. So I'm used
Oh,
to
so yeah.
being an audience of one that other people are kind of peering into.
Right, right.
So I was
Okay.
used to it. I know a lot of other people weren't, but the technology part was really new for me. And making slide presentations
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
because I had done radio for so long. I hadn't even made a resume or any, like, I haven't done the business things that I've needed to do. I've always worked for someone else.
Right, I get it. Yeah.
So that part was really important for me to learn.
Right. So what made you decide to be a mentor?
Well, Kristen is a good talker and you can't say no to her.
I don't think anyone can say no to her, actually.
No, but also it's just the space that I'm always in. I've always worked with nonprofits. I've always worked with people with great ideas, people promoting things. So
Right.
I feel like it was just a natural fit to be able to sit there and foster. I'm the nice one. If you get the mentors, you'll get somebody that's going to push you. You're going to get somebody that's going to like hold your hand through things. I'm the
Right.
cheerleader. Like, good job. You can do it. I'll be here next week.
Yeah, that's good. Everyone needs one of those.
Yeah. So they really do set you up with these. And I am a pretty crazy lady. Yes. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate you. So finally meeting people though in real life was really nice. And then being able to work within my cohort to help each other, support each other's
Yeah.
businesses is awesome.
I know. I met some really cool people that I know will be my friends for life from that program. So it's pretty
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, you suffered a lot of things together.
Exactly.
It's a trauma bond.
Yeah.
It's in a good fashion.
Yes, you could definitely call it that.
Yeah, right. So what do you think helped you from just holding your meetings to actually making this a full-fledged organization?
I that's a very good question.
You know, because that seems like a big leap. Like you were ready to do this, so you were gonna do it.
Well, all right. This is going to sound stupid.
No, it's not. Nothing's stupid.
I feel like it's God's work and God's plan for me to do this.
Yeah.
I was desperate to meet other moms, which is why I started the support group to begin with. And then I get a lot from it and I want to give back and want to be able to help and hold the hand of someone that was in the same place that I was because I didn't really have anybody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
I had nobody to help me. So I said, well, it was out of desperation. So I found space and I advertised it and I said, I'm just starting this group because I need to meet other
Yeah,
moms.
my mom heart is hurting for you a little bit.
I
You
know.
know, when you see other mothers that are just in this space where they can't do anything, there's nothing they can do about it. This is my situation and I
Right.
have to deal with this.
Right.
And that's so stressful.
It
So to
is.
be able to be there for other moms, like that's
Right. And then, then I thought, okay, fine, then let's expand the model. Let's include families. Let's include dads. I'm, dying to start my first dads group. And, there are a lot of national organizations out there, but no one's really helping the people on the ground dealing with it every day. And that is what I want to do.
yeah.
You can go fundraise and do things for JDRF and ADA, but really who's talking about it and dealing with the everyday things is what I want to be able to do with people.
That's amazing. Hey, Nate, are you over at the college today? Big Groundhog Day celebration at WKKL. Shout out to all the students. I will be over there on Thursdays as we're starting our on live Lemonadio with our students over at WKKL, Cape Cod Community
That's
College.
cool.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to be working with the students once again. Lauren, come meet in the lounge here and target your audience. We'd love to have you.
Great.
So right there in Buzzards Bay, I think we got a space. Move this around because there are so many people on the Cape, on the islands that just need that support. And, it does start with moms. But I love that you said that you're going to do that for dads too, because I mean, it's a whole family thing.
It is definitely.
Did you have other children?
No, I just have one child.
And that was enough.
And that was enough. And that was hard. And he's a rock star, really and truly.
It really does affect the siblings because I mean, maybe you get conversations like that in your meetings where there's siblings that feel left out.
Exactly. That's a huge
Or like,
thing.
I'm abandoned over here because this one's taking so much of your time.
That's a very good point. And something simple like, Johnny's going low, so he gets to have fruit snacks right now, or he gets to have Starburst right now to help him increase his blood sugar. And, then the 4-year-old that doesn't have a blood sugar issue going on is like, well, how come I can't have,
Yeah.
I can't have Starburst right now, or I can't have fruit snacks right now.
Because us moms need to deal with more drama.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, we talk about all those kinds of things.
Has there ever had a situation that you were like, I don't even know how to help you. We're just here. I'm going to hold your hand.
Sometimes, but most, the beauty of doing a support group with other people in it is someone else has already walked that path at some point in time, and somebody might not have an answer, but have a suggestion or say, well, when that happened to me, this is what I did. So I think that group model is really important and really helpful. And when you go to an endo office, you have to go to the doctors every 3 months. So you got to work that into your schedule.
Yeah.
Most people have to go to Boston. So even if you're on the Cape, you're probably traveling up to Boston for an appointment. That's a day that you have to commit to going into Boston to take your kid to the doctor. The endo appointment, you don't have enough time. No one asks you, so mom, how you doing? So dad.
Yeah, right. I'm like, morale is super low.
Right.
Do not recommend this.
Right. Well, and they're busy, looking at the kids' numbers and diagnosing things and making changes to doses and doing all that. There's not enough time to say, well, how's everyone's mental health?
Yeah. And that's so important to take care of, because if you're not good for yourself, you're not going to be good for your child. Exactly. And they need all of the things from you. So it's a vicious cycle to get in.
It is. But you know what? There is support in other people. And that is really gratifying to know that. And I think that every other mom I know would also volunteer to help a new mom too. It's just
absolutely
how it works.
Yeah. I like it. You got to take care of your mental health, especially this time of the year too. Gray, it's hard. Days are long. It's cold. We are having an event over at Naukabout on Sunday. It is low stakes arts and crafts. I mean, we're talking craft paper, doilies, sit there and paint things with glue. I don't really care. Put it in your hair. Look like a kindergarten art teacher. This is what we're going to be doing while we have a beer and just sit quietly. You don't even have to have a beer, and it doesn't matter at any age. Come on by and sit with us and do some low stakes arts and crafts.
So you don't have to be Martha Stewart.
No, you do not. We're zero Martha Stewarts. If you're a Martha Stewart, I don't even want to see you. Do that in your own time. I want it to be ugly. I want it to be covered in glitter, and I want us to just have a good time. Because seriously, you just need to relax sometimes.
Exactly. That sounds like a good event.
Right? We are gifted with this space over at the brewery every single Sunday. So we get to have a party. We do books and bites. You saw our new show opener where I talk about being terrible at book club. Everall used to have a book club.
Oh, really?
And I would always show up late to the Zoom meeting, and I'd always read either the book behind or the book ahead. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought the author was a man. Oh, wrong book, Stephanie.
I thought book club was just code for wine club anyway.
Right? No, we did entrepreneurial book club.
Oh.
I know. Usually they're not so bad. Most of them kind of center on the same premise.
Oh.
But I have a stack of them upstairs that I've gotten through half of them.
That's like homework.
I can't. Some of the concepts were good, and I do try to employ them in my business, and like verticals and what you should be doing for this. And it's a little stressful, but when I started Everall, it was just for our podcasting portion. And right now, by the gift of grace of God, we are completely full. So our next vertical were our events, and we're getting super full on that. We've got 4 full-time hosts, 2 part-time hosts. I've got a new office girl starting on Monday.
Wow.
It really is growing leaps and bounds. People want to go out. People want to have fun.
That's true.
People need that place to blow off steam.
Well, COVID just wrecked everything, really.
It's taken 2 years of our lives, everyone. I don't know if anybody else is recovering, but I had this conversation with a gentleman named Seamus. He's a bartender at 10 Pin, which is Ryan's family 10 Pin Eatery.
Yeah, I just saw that somewhere. Where is that?
The big one's in Hyannis, but you just opened a new one in Hanover.
Oh, that's where I saw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they
Okay.
opened this huge complex in Hanover. And the gentleman that started it are from my hometown of Attleboro. And they're growing leaps and bounds, but people are desperate for entertainment,
Yes.
family friendly places to just go and blow off some steam. And I was having this conversation with Seamus yesterday, and he's like, we lost 3 years of our life. I was trying to tell a story the other day, and I realized that was 8 years ago. It wasn't just 2 or 3 years ago.
Right. I know. Wow. So that's pretty interesting. Um, I find that, people still are afraid to gather,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's that PTSD where it's too people-y in there. I'm good.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I know.
And that had to have been difficult for our type 1 families.
Well, yeah, actually, after COVID, there was an uptick in diagnosis, and the kids that were diagnosed during COVID could only do virtual visits.
Yeah.
So that was even, making everything more complicated.
Yeah. Good morning, Miss Emily. We're excited to have you in the office on Monday. She brought her baby girl. I'm going to get no work done because I'm going to have a baby to watch.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm very excited.
Okay.
I know, right? Little people bring me such joy, but you know who loves them is my husband. Loves
Yeah.
them when they're like just fun, like make funny faces at them. Like as soon as they start to need things, he's all set. But that's the fun portion of being a parent for sure. So what else is going on in your organization? Talk about getting that 501c3. How much paperwork is it really?
It's a lot of paperwork.
Is it
Yeah, and I'm still waiting for approval. Hopefully, we'll find out in March. And
like
then,
lawyers? Did you do it all yourself?
no, I have a very cool partner who is a tax and audit guy and
Ooh.
knows all the kind of paperwork stuff to do. So he helped me do that. And
That's amazing because that portion of my brain never developed.
yeah, mine either. Mine either. And I'm gonna need, as this moves forward, and I think I'm gonna give my business 3 years to really launch and get off the ground here. But I'm gonna need, someone to do the social media stuff, someone to do the tax and audit and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So we'll see. My part is I want to be the client facing person for sure.
Yeah.
And also the person that goes out and ask people for money and ask people to donate to a cause that's I'm very, very passionate about, obviously.
Yeah. And knowledgeable too, which is really nice to be able to talk to somebody and you seem well versed because you've been through it.
Right. Someone asked me in the E4All in my pitch presentation, what makes you qualified to do this?
Right.
And I thought, well, that's a really good question. I do have a master's in education, so I'm not an idiot. And my second master's is 15 years of experience in type 1. So
I have 0 masters. I'm master at my craft.
that's more important, actually.
But I mean, you are uniquely qualified. You didn't need the 2 masters. I feel like when you get a baby to adulthood, you are definitely qualified to speak about what goes on there. And
Exactly.
you really went through it.
Yes. Yeah, but it's really important that there's more awareness out there. People don't understand. Even one of my mentors, he said I had no idea what type 1 diabetes was.
Right.
So I don't understand, so that's part of my mission too, is to create more awareness and bring it to the forefront. Everyone talks about ADHD and autism and whatever, but people aren't talking about this. And when you say diabetes, people think about their grandma. They don't think that about a kid or someone like that. It's just a kind of a misconception out there.
When I think of type 1 diabetes, I think of Nick Jonas.
Yes. Okay.
And I also think of Steel Magnolias.
Yes.
2 not great
Me too.
references, but that's really like,
Okay. And
this
you
is
know
my
what?
knowledge of it. That's all.
And actually, Nick Jonas is new on the scene,
Mhm.
and that is helping a lot to have someone young that people can identify with. That is definitely helping.
Yeah. I mean, to have a spokesperson for the
Right.
movement that to get people to understand what's going on here.
Did you know Mary Tyler Moore had type 1?
I had no idea.
See, because people didn't talk about it. Yeah, she had type 1. There's another Halle Berry, another famous actress.
I did not know that
I
either.
believe she has type 1 too. And so there, a lot of people don't talk about it. So that's part of part of the mission too, is to just start talking about it and creating awareness and education around it.
Yeah, and the technology for you is vastly improved.
Oh yeah, definitely. definitely. But you have to still understand how it all works.
Where are the best resources besides your organization that people can go? Maybe we have people that were newly diagnosed or somebody looking for something specific. Your group does that, right?
Yes, and part of the process of in creating my website right now is to be able to go on my website and click resources so that you know what's locally available, what's nationally available. JDRF, Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, is a big organization, national organization. I've ridden my bike. I did 400-mile bike rides for them, raising money.
I should bum.
I know.
I'm like, oh, I can't sit that long. I die.
know. It was a lot of training, but when I was 55, I decided I wanted to do that, and
That's awesome.
I raised like $30,000 the first year for JDRF or type 1 diabetes, and I rode for Ryan. That was my motto. I ride for Ryan, for my son.
Oh,
And 2 other moms did that with me and
very cool.
rode for their kids, so that was pretty cool. So, and actually, they're having a summit coming up in March in Boston that all families can come to, where the kids will be separated from the parents and meet other kids and play groups, and the parents can go to a bunch of panels and seminars and have some education surrounding type 1. So I'll pump that for them. And then I'm very good friends with people at American Diabetes Association, and I'm on their board, and they do lots of cool things. One of the cool things that I'm working on this year with them is they do Camp Carefree in New Hampshire, which is a week-long camp for kids that have type 1.
Awesome.
And so you're with other kids that have type 1 for a week, and you learn how to manage your blood sugar. Doctors and nurses are employed at the camp, and it's just a really cool experience. And I highly recommend sending your kid to camp, because that's the only time that the parent gets a break
Right.
from not thinking about diabetes for a week.
Yeah.
So, or spending time with the other kids for, focusing on your other children.
The
for
kids
that
get to
week.
be kids in a controlled environment.
Right.
You get to just relax
Exactly.
a
So,
little.
right. And Camp Carefree is in New Hampshire. So you can look that up online too. So those are 2 really good resources and organizations that I've worked with for the past 15 years.
That's fabulous. What else do we need to know about your organization? Because we really want to support you any way we can.
Thank you. Well, until I get my 501c3 approval, I can't take donations. So after that
So
happens,
soon.
I know. So after that happens, I want to come back on your show.
Absolutely.
And maybe we'll do a marathon pledge day or something like that.
That
A marathon pledge hour. Or
Yes,
something,
please.
and get some people to make some donations. So I'm looking forward to that. I am, still have, how E for All is. You got to have more goals.
Never done.
Even though you're done with the program, you can have more goals.
That's great. 3-month check-in, more goals.
Yeah, so I'm working on those right now.
But the good part about that is you get to start nominating each other to win money.
I know.
So cover your goals.
I know, exactly. I know. I should give a plug to another E for All program that
Do
I
it.
love. Is that okay? My friend Karen Berry from Colorful Kids. Do you know her?
I do.
Have
I
you
don't
had-
know her, but I know her organization, and you're the 3rd person to mention that in my space.
All right, you should have her on your show.
I think that we're going to be having her on our show. There was a couple of other grant situations that she was involved in.
Yes.
And her name kept getting thrown at Lemonadio. So I will definitely want to work with her.
Yeah, her program is really cool. She does room makeovers for children and children in need here on the Cape. And she's my inspiration, and she is my cheerleader, and has been helping me along. So her business, I think, is 2 or 3 years in.
Yeah.
And it's really getting traction now. She's getting local donations. She's getting grant money. So she is who I aspire to be in the next couple of years.
That's awesome. And what she's doing is incredible.
Yeah. I think it's just a really cool model. And, again, she's super passionate about what she does too. So check her out if you can. She does have a website that you can make donations on. So go there.
Or just make a donation to E for All if you're looking to start some regular charitable giving, because they really are doing amazing things in the community. Nancy, thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. And thank you to the listeners for hearing my story and listening to my story.
Yeah, this has been a really educational area in a space that I know very little about.
Oh,
so I feel a little bit more educated. And it's nice to know that I have a resource when I have questions.
Absolutely. And anyone can reach out to me. I'll give you my phone number even right now. Do you want me to-
Whatever you need, take it.
I know. 617-448-2910 is my cell phone, and my email is nancygodat60@gmail.com.
Type1families.org. We'll be looking for that website coming up
Yes.
soon. Everybody have a great weekend, whatever it is that you're doing. I will come at Monday. I'm trying to think of who I've got on. I think I've got Amina. We've got a full week of shows next week. So don't miss a moment. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. And Hank's going to be coming up with his lunch break in just a little bit here on 1180. Thanks for listening. And we shall talk to you soon. Bye.
Hi, thank you.